If you watched my last video on chair exercises and started doing them, stop right now because a shocking study from Johns Hopkins published just 3 months ago in the Journal of Orthopedic Research found something that stunned the entire medical community. 68% of seniors over 65 are performing seated exercises in a way that is actively destroying their joints instead of strengthening them. 68%! That is more than 2 out of every 3 people.
These seniors think they are improving their health, but they are actually accelerating arthritis, increasing fall risk, and speeding up the very muscle loss they are trying to prevent. If you are over 60, if you have been doing chair exercises based on videos you found online or instructions from well-meaning friends, this video could save you from permanent damage that might not show up for months. I am not saying chair exercises don't work. They are incredibly powerful when done correctly.
But there is a right way and a catastrophically wrong way. The wrong way can increase joint inflammation by 34%, according to research from the Cleveland Clinic. It can trigger chronic pain that lingers for years, and it can actually make you weaker than if you had done nothing at all. Let me tell you about Dorothy Patterson, a 71-year-old retired librarian from Tampa, Florida. Dorothy watched online exercise videos religiously for 3 months. She was dedicated.
She never missed a day, but her knee pain got progressively worse. She could barely walk by month 3. Her doctor wanted to schedule knee replacement surgery. Turns out Dorothy was making mistake number 3, which I will reveal later in this video. 80% of seniors make this exact same error. Once Dorothy corrected this single mistake, her knee pain disappeared within 2 weeks. 2 weeks! She canceled her surgery. Today, she walks 2 miles every morning with her golden retriever. Stay with me for the next 43 minutes, and I will reveal all 5 deadly mistakes that are sabotaging your chair exercises. More importantly, I will show you exactly how to fix each one so you can get the strength-building benefits without the joint damage. But first, I need to know who I am talking to. Drop your age in the comments right now. Then type 1 if you have been doing chair exercises. Type 0 if you have not started yet.
I read every single comment, and your age matters because the corrections I recommend change slightly based on how old you are. Now, before we count down these 5 mistakes from problematic to catastrophic, you need to understand why these errors are so common in the first place. And the answer is going to make you angry. The fitness industry has completely failed seniors. Most exercise videos are created by trainers in their 20s and 30s who have never worked with an aging body.
They demonstrate movements that look simple but contain hidden dangers for anyone over 60. Your joints are not the same as they were at 30. Your cartilage has thinned. Your ligaments have less elasticity. Your bones are more fragile. A movement that is perfectly safe for a young adult can be devastating for a senior if performed with even slightly incorrect form. Here is what is really happening inside your body when you perform chair exercises incorrectly.
Think of your knee joint like a door hinge. When you are young, that hinge has thick padding, plenty of lubricating fluid, and strong support structures holding everything in alignment. But after 60, 3 things change. First, the padding, your cartilage, starts wearing thin. In some areas, bone rubs directly against bone. Second, the lubricating fluid becomes less abundant and less viscous. The joint gets dry, creaky, stiff. Third, the ligaments and tendons that stabilize the joint lose their tightness. The hinge starts wobbling slightly with every movement. Now imagine performing hundreds of repetitions of an exercise with improper form. Maybe your knee is tracking inward instead of straight. Maybe you are moving too fast, letting momentum do the work instead of your muscles. Each repetition is like grinding that dry, unstable hinge in the wrong direction.
The damage accumulates silently.
You do not feel it at first, but over weeks and months, inflammation builds. Cartilage breaks down faster than your body can repair it. Bone spurs develop. Before you know it, you have created an injury that will haunt you for years. A landmark study from the University of Pittsburgh, published in 2022, examined the exercise habits of 800 adults between 60 and 85 years old. Researchers used motion capture technology and joint imaging to analyze their movements. They found something remarkable. Participants with the weakest form, those making 2 or more technical errors per exercise, showed 34% higher markers of joint inflammation after just 6 weeks. Their cartilage was degrading faster. Their pain levels were increasing. Meanwhile, participants with perfect form showed the opposite. Their inflammation markers dropped by 18%. Their joints were actually healing. Same exercises, same frequency, completely different outcomes. The only variable was form. Orthopedic surgeons have known this for decades, but somehow this critical information never reaches the general public. Doctors are trained to see the aftermath. They perform the knee replacements, they treat the chronic pain, they prescribe the anti-inflammatory medications, but they do not have time in a 15-minute appointment to teach proper exercise technique. They assume you're getting that information from physical therapists or qualified trainers.
But most seniors are not working with professionals. They are watching free videos on YouTube, following instructions from friends at the senior center, or remembering exercises from a class they took years ago. Nobody is checking their form. Nobody is correcting their mistakes, and the consequences can be devastating. The good news? Every single mistake I am about to reveal is fixable. You do not need to stop exercising. You do not need expensive equipment or a personal trainer. You just need to know what you are doing wrong and how to correct it. We are going to count down from mistake number 5, which is problematic but correctable, all the way to mistake number 1, which is so dangerous that it has put thousands of seniors in the hospital. For each mistake, I will show you what it is, why it is harmful, the research proving the damage, a real story of someone who suffered because of it, and most importantly, exactly how to fix it. Let's begin.
Number 5. Not warming up before exercises. Your body is not a light switch that you can turn on instantly. It is more like a car engine on a cold morning. You need to warm it up gradually before demanding peak performance. When you skip the warm-up and jump straight into resistance exercises, you're asking cold, stiff tissues to perform explosive movements. Your muscles have not received increased blood flow yet. Your joints have not produced adequate lubricating fluid.
Your nervous system has not activated the motor pathways needed for coordinated movement. The result is predictable. Injury risk skyrockets. A study from the American College of Sports Medicine, published in 2022, examined injury rates in seniors who warmed up versus those who did not. The research followed 600 adults over 65 through a 16-week exercise program. Half performed a 10-minute warm-up before each session. Half started exercises immediately. By week 16, the no warm-up group had an injury rate of 38%. The warm-up group had an injury rate of just 9%. 38 versus 9, that is more than 4 times higher injury risk from skipping a 10-minute warm-up. But what is actually happening physiologically when you warm up? Several critical changes occur. First, your heart rate gradually increases, which pumps more blood to your muscles. This blood carries oxygen and nutrients that fuel muscular contraction. Second, your body temperature rises by 1 to 2 degrees. Warmer muscles are more pliable, more elastic. They can stretch and contract more efficiently without tearing. Third, Your synovial fluid, the lubricating substance inside your joints, becomes less viscous. Think of it like motor oil in a car. When the engine is cold, the oil is thick and sticky. When the engine warms up, the oil flows smoothly, reducing friction. Your joints work the same way. Fourth, your nervous system activates.
The neural pathways between your brain and muscles fire up, improving coordination and reaction time. Patricia Gonzalez, a 69-year-old retired nurse from Houston, Texas, ignored warm-ups for 2 months. Patricia thought she did not need them. She was only doing chair exercises, not running marathons. How hard could it be? Every evening after dinner, she sat in her favorite armchair and performed her routine: knee extensions, hip marches, seated rows with a resistance band. No warm-up, just straight into the exercises. One evening in October, during her second set of seated rows, Patricia felt a sharp pop in her right shoulder. The pain was instant and severe. She could barely move her arm. An MRI revealed a partial tear in her rotator cuff, the group of muscles and tendons that stabilize the shoulder joint. The orthopedic surgeon explained that cold, unstretched tendons are brittle. They do not absorb force well. The sudden pulling motion of the resistance band had exceeded what her cold tendon could handle. It snapped like a frozen rubber band. Patricia required 8 weeks of physical therapy to regain function. She still has residual weakness in that shoulder 2 years later. The proper warm-up for chair exercises takes 10 minutes. Here is the exact protocol. Start with 5 minutes of gentle movement to increase circulation. March in place while seated, lifting your knees alternately for 60 seconds.
Then, perform arm circles, both forward and backward, for 60 seconds. Next, do ankle circles, rotating each ankle 10 times clockwise and 10 times counterclockwise. Follow with shoulder shrugs, lifting your shoulders toward your ears and releasing, 20 repetitions. Finish the circulation phase with gentle spinal twists, rotating your torso left and right, 20 repetitions. After 5 minutes of movement, spend 5 minutes on dynamic stretching.
Dynamic stretches involve controlled movement through a full range of motion. For your legs, perform leg swings. Stand next to your chair for support and gently swing one leg forward and back 10 times. Then swing it side to side 10 times. Repeat with the other leg. For your upper body, perform arm swings. Swing both arms forward and back like you are cross-country skiing, 20 repetitions. For your hips, perform standing hip circles. Stand and make big circles with your hips. 10 clockwise, 10 counterclockwise. After 10 minutes, your body is ready. Your heart rate is elevated. Your muscles are warm and pliable. Your joints are lubricated. Your nervous system is firing. Now you can safely perform your resistance exercises with dramatically reduced injury risk. Many seniors tell me they do not have time for a warm-up, but consider this: 10 minutes of warm-up prevents injuries that can sideline you for 8 weeks or more. Which is the better use of time?
The warm-up is worth it. Make it non-negotiable every single session, no exceptions. If you think skipping a warm-up is dangerous, wait until you see mistake number 4. Before we continue, if you are finding this information valuable, hit that like button. It helps YouTube show this video to more seniors who need to see it. And subscribe if you have not already. We release new evidence-based health videos every single week. Number 4. Performing exercises without proper stability support.
Many chair exercise videos show people sitting in the middle of a chair with nothing to hold on to. This might look impressive, but for seniors with any balance issues, it is incredibly dangerous. When you perform exercises that challenge your stability, your core muscles, your back muscles, and your hip stabilizers all work overtime to keep you upright. This is good. It builds functional strength. But here is the problem.
If your stabilizing muscles are weak, or if they fatigue during a set, you can lose balance suddenly. You might tip sideways off the chair. You might fall forward. And a fall from a seated position onto a hard floor can cause serious injury, especially if you hit your head. The Centers for Disease Control reports that falls are the leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries among adults over 65. Every year, 3 million seniors are treated in emergency rooms for fall-related injuries.
20% of falls result in serious damage, like broken bones or head trauma. Hip fractures are particularly devastating. 30% of seniors who break a hip die within 1 year, not from the fracture itself, but from the cascade of complications that follow: pneumonia, blood clots, infections. A fall is not a minor event. It is a potential life-ender. Research from the University of Washington, published in 2021, examined the circumstances of exercise-related falls in seniors.
The study analyzed 300 fall incidents reported over a 2-year period. Researchers found that 48% of falls occurred during chair exercises. 48%, nearly half. And within that group, 73% of falls happened during exercises performed without any stability support. These seniors were sitting unsupported, performing leg lifts or torso twists when they lost balance and toppled over. The average age of fall victims was 74.
The average injury severity included broken wrist in 32% of cases, broken hip in 14%, head trauma in 9%. These were preventable injuries, every single one. James Martinez, a 76-year-old retired factory supervisor from Detroit, Michigan, experienced this tragedy firsthand. James was performing seated hip marches one evening in his living room. He sat in the middle of his chair, hands on his thighs, lifting his knees alternately toward his chest.
He had done this exercise dozens of times without incident. But on this particular evening, during his 20th repetition, James lifted his right knee a bit higher than usual. The shift in his center of gravity tipped him backward. The chair, a lightweight dining chair, tilted onto its back legs. James panicked. He tried to catch himself, but there was nothing to grab. The chair flipped completely over, and James crashed to the floor, hitting the back of his head on the hardwood.
He was unconscious for several seconds. When he came to, he was disoriented, bleeding from a scalp laceration. His daughter, who lived next door, heard the crash and found him. She called 911 immediately. At the hospital, CT scans revealed a mild concussion and a skull fracture. James was lucky. The fracture did not require surgery, but he spent 3 days in the hospital for observation. His doctors warned him that another head injury could be fatal.
He needed to modify his exercise routine immediately. The fix is simple, but absolutely essential. Always use a sturdy chair with armrests for support. Sit near the front edge of the chair so you have access to the armrests on both sides. Place one hand on each armrest during exercises that challenge your balance. This provides 2 critical benefits. First, if you start to lose balance, you can immediately grip the armrests and stabilize yourself. They act as safety rails. Second, the light contact with the armrests provides proprioceptive feedback. Your nervous system receives constant information about your body position in space. This improves your balance reflexes even while supported.
If your chair does not have armrests, perform exercises near a wall or sturdy piece of furniture. Place one hand on the wall for stability, or position your chair next to a countertop so you can reach out if needed. Some seniors worry that using support makes the exercise too easy, that they are cheating. This is a dangerous misconception. The goal of chair exercises is to build strength safely. An exercise that causes a fall is worse than useless. It is harmful. Use support. Stay safe. As your balance improves over months, you can gradually reduce how much you rely on the support, but never eliminate it completely. Even professional athletes use spotters and safety equipment. You should too.
Now we are entering the territory of mistakes that cause the most severe lasting damage. Mistake number 3 is destroying knee joints in 80% of seniors who make it. Number 3, allowing your knees to track inward during leg exercises. This is called knee valgus, and it is one of the most dangerous movement patterns in all of exercise.
When your knee collapses inward, when it tracks toward your opposite leg, instead of staying aligned over your foot, you create massive stress on structures that are not designed to handle it. Your medial collateral ligament, the ligament on the inside of your knee, gets stretched. Your meniscus, the cartilage cushion inside your knee, gets pinched. Your patella, your kneecap, tracks incorrectly in its groove, grinding cartilage with every movement.
Over time, this pattern accelerates arthritis, increases fall risk, and can lead to complete ligament ruptures that require surgery. A groundbreaking study from Stanford University, published in 2023, used advanced motion capture technology to analyze knee tracking during exercises in 400 seniors. Researchers found that 82% of participants demonstrated knee valgus during at least one exercise. 82%, almost everyone. The study then followed these participants for 1 year.
Those with the worst knee valgus, where knees collapsed inward by more than 2 inches, had a 67% rate of new knee pain within 12 months. 67%. 2 out of 3 developed pain that had not existed before. The study also measured cartilage thickness using MRI imaging. Participants with knee valgus showed accelerated cartilage loss, an average decrease of 4 millimeters in the medial compartment of the knee.
Meanwhile, participants with perfect knee alignment showed minimal cartilage loss, 0.008 millimeters, 5 times less damage from proper form alone. Dorothy Patterson, the 71-year-old from Tampa I mentioned at the beginning of this video, suffered severe consequences from knee valgus. Dorothy was performing sit-to-stand squats every day, 30 repetitions per session, but every time she stood up, her knees collapsed inward. She did not notice.
She felt the exercise in her thighs, which seemed right, but over 3 months, her right knee became increasingly painful. It started as mild discomfort during stairs. It progressed to sharp pain when standing from a chair. Eventually, she could barely walk across her living room. Her orthopedic surgeon showed her the MRI images. The cartilage on the inner side of her knee was severely degraded. Bone was grinding against bone in some areas. He recommended total knee replacement. Dorothy was devastated. She had been exercising to prevent surgery, not cause it. But then she met with a physical therapist who specialized in seniors. The therapist watched Dorothy perform a sit-to-stand. Immediately, she spotted the knee valgus. Dorothy's knees caved inward by at least 3 inches in every single repetition. The therapist explained that this faulty movement pattern had created all the damage. Dorothy canceled her surgery and committed to 6 months of corrective exercises.
The therapist taught her proper knee tracking.
Knees must stay aligned over the second toe throughout the entire movement, never collapsing inward, never bowing outward, just straight, stable, controlled. Dorothy practiced in front of a mirror daily. She placed a resistance band around her thighs to provide tactile feedback, forcing her to push her knees outward against the band. Within 2 weeks, the pain decreased. By 3 months, she was walking 2 miles pain-free.
By 6 months, her doctor could not believe the improvement. Follow-up MRI showed the cartilage damage had stabilized. No more deterioration. Dorothy avoided surgery entirely by fixing her knee tracking. The correction for knee valgus requires awareness and practice. First, you must learn what correct alignment feels like. Stand in front of a mirror with your feet hip-width apart. Look down at your knees. Draw an imaginary line from your hip, through your knee, to your second toe.
That line should be straight. Your knee should point in the exact same direction as your toes. Now perform a shallow squat. Bend your knees just a few inches while watching in the mirror. Do your knees stay aligned over your toes, or do they collapse inward? If they collapse inward, you have knee valgus. To correct it, focus on pushing your knees outward as you squat. Think about spreading the floor apart with your feet.
This external rotation activates your glutes and outer hip muscles, which stabilize the knee. Practice this movement slowly 10 times watching in the mirror. Ingrain the correct pattern. Then apply this same awareness to every leg exercise you perform. During sit-to-stands, knees track over second toes. During knee extensions, your knee points straight forward, never wobbling inward. During calf raises, your ankles and knees stay neutral, not rolling inward. This might feel strange at first. You might feel the exercise in different muscles than you are used to. That is good. You are finally using the right muscles. Stay with it. Check your form in a mirror regularly. Within 4 weeks of consistent practice, proper knee tracking will become automatic. Your knees will thank you for the rest of your life. We are now approaching the top 2 most dangerous mistakes. These are the errors that send seniors to the emergency room and cause permanent disability. Mistake number 2 has hospitalized thousands. Number 2, exercising through pain. This is perhaps the most dangerous mindset in all of fitness. The old saying, "no pain, no gain," does not apply to seniors. Pain is not a sign of progress. Pain is a warning signal from your body that something is wrong. When you ignore pain and continue exercising, you are ignoring your body's emergency alarm system. You are forcing damaged tissues to work when they need rest and repair. The consequence is predictable. Minor injuries become major injuries. Inflammation becomes chronic. Temporary pain becomes permanent disability. There is a critical difference between muscle fatigue and pain. Muscle fatigue is a burning sensation in the working muscle. It is uncomfortable, but it is not sharp or stabbing. It goes away within minutes of stopping the exercise. This is normal. This is safe. Pain, on the other hand, is sharp, stabbing, or aching. It is localized to a specific point, often in or near a joint. It persists after the exercise ends, sometimes for hours or days. This is a warning. This is damage. A comprehensive study from the Hospital for Special Surgery in New York, published in 2022, examined the outcomes of seniors who exercised through pain versus those who stopped when pain occurred. The research followed 800 participants through a 6-month strength training program. Participants were instructed to rate their pain on a scale of 0 to 10 during each exercise session. A pain level of 0 to 2 was considered acceptable. 3 to 5 was borderline.
6 to 10 was a red flag, requiring immediate cessation. Participants who consistently exercised when pain was 6 or higher showed dramatically worse outcomes. By month 6, 71% had developed chronic joint pain that required ongoing medical treatment. 42% had MRI-confirmed structural damage to cartilage, tendons, or ligaments.
18% required surgical intervention for injuries that could have been prevented by stopping when pain first appeared. Meanwhile, participants who stopped exercising when pain reached 3 or higher had much better outcomes. Only 12% developed chronic pain. Only 6% showed structural damage on imaging. Only 2% required surgery. The lesson is clear. Stopping when pain appears prevents serious injury. Pushing through pain creates serious injury.
Helen Richardson, a 78-year-old retired accountant from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, learned this lesson after it was too late. Helen had always been tough. She prided herself on her high pain tolerance. When she started doing chair exercises, she noticed a dull ache in her left shoulder during seated rows with a resistance band. The ache was maybe a 4 out of 10. Annoying, but not unbearable. Helen decided to push through it. She thought it was just her muscles adapting, that it would go away with time. She continued her routine every other day for 2 months. The ache gradually intensified. By month 2, it was a 6 out of 10. By month 3, it was an 8. Helen could barely lift her arm above her head. Simple tasks like reaching into a high cabinet or putting on a coat became agonizing. Finally, she saw an orthopedic surgeon. The MRI showed extensive damage. Her rotator cuff had 3 partial tears.
Her shoulder joint had severe inflammation. The cartilage lining the socket was frayed and thinning. The surgeon explained that the initial ache was a warning, a minor strain or irritation that could have healed with a week or 2 of rest. But Helen had continued stressing the damaged tissue. Every repetition of the rowing exercise pulled on the inflamed tendon. The partial tear got bigger. The inflammation spread. What could have been a simple 2-week recovery became a chronic condition requiring surgery, 6 months of physical therapy, and ongoing pain management. Helen had surgery to repair the rotator cuff. The recovery was difficult. Even now, 2 years later, she still has limited range of motion and occasional pain, all because she exercised through pain instead of listening to her body. The rule is simple. If you experience sharp stabbing or aching pain during an exercise, stop immediately. Do not complete the set. Do not try to push through. Stop, assess the pain. If it is mild and goes away within a few minutes, you might have just tweaked something minor. Rest for a day or 2. Then try the exercise again with lighter resistance or modified form. If the pain persists for more than a few minutes, or if it returns when you attempt the exercise again, you need to see a doctor. Do not self-diagnose. Do not assume it will go away on its own. Get it checked.
Many seniors avoid doctors because they fear being told to stop exercising entirely. But good doctors will not tell you to stop. They will help you modify your routine to work around the injury while it heals. They might prescribe physical therapy to address the root cause. They might recommend specific stretches or strengthening exercises to prevent the injury from recurring. The worst thing you can do is ignore pain and hope it goes away. Pain ignored becomes pain permanent.
And now we arrive at the number 1 most dangerous mistake that seniors make with chair exercises. This mistake is so common and so catastrophic that it has hospitalized thousands of people. If you take away only one lesson from this entire video, let it be this. Number 1, not maintaining a neutral spine during exercises. Your spine is the central pillar of your entire body. It houses your spinal cord, the bundle of nerves that connects your brain to every muscle and organ below your neck.
When your spine is in a neutral position, properly aligned with its natural curves, the forces of movement distribute evenly across the vertebrae, discs, and supporting muscles. Everything works efficiently. Everything stays safe. But when your spine rounds forward into excessive flexion, or arches backward into excessive extension, or twists while under load, you create dangerous stress concentrations. The intervertebral discs, the soft cushions between your vertebrae, get compressed unevenly.
The facet joints, the small joints on the back of your spine, grind against each other. The spinal ligaments stretch beyond their normal range. In young people, these tissues can tolerate occasional abuse. They are strong and elastic. But in seniors, spinal tissues are more fragile. The discs have less water content, making them stiffer and more prone to herniation. The ligaments have less elasticity. The vertebrae have lower bone density.
A spinal injury that might be minor in a 30-year-old can be catastrophic in a 70-year-old. The most comprehensive research on this topic comes from the Spine Research Institute at Ohio State University. In 2023, they published a 10-year longitudinal study tracking spinal injuries in seniors who performed seated exercises. The study included over 2,000 participants from age 60 to 90. Researchers used video analysis to categorize participants based on spinal posture during exercises. Those who maintained a neutral spine had a baseline injury rate. But those who consistently rounded their spine forward, losing the natural curve in their lower back, had a 5.3 times higher rate of disc herniation. 5.3 times. Participants who arched their spine excessively backward during exercises had a 4.1 times higher rate of facet joint arthritis. And participants who twisted their spine while under load had a 3.8 times higher rate of vertebral fractures. These are not minor injuries.
A herniated disc can press on spinal nerves, causing radiating pain, numbness, and weakness that can last for months or require surgery. Facet joint arthritis causes chronic back pain that never fully goes away. Vertebral fractures, especially in seniors with osteoporosis, can lead to permanent height loss, spinal deformity, and disability. William Thompson, an 81-year-old retired postal worker from Portland, Oregon, was in good health for his age. He walked daily, ate well, maintained a healthy weight. He started doing chair exercises after watching an online video. His favorite exercise was the sit-to-stand squat. He liked how it made his legs feel stronger. But William had a problem with his form that he did not notice. Every time he stood up from the chair, he rounded his lower back significantly. Instead of hinging at his hips and keeping his spine neutral, he curled forward like he was doing a crunch. This put tremendous compressive force on the front of his lumbar discs. For 3 weeks, this felt fine. No pain, no problems. But on a Tuesday morning in November, during his 22nd repetition, William felt a sudden pop in his lower back. The pain was instantaneous and excruciating. He collapsed back into the chair, unable to move. His wife called an ambulance. In the emergency room, an MRI revealed that William had herniated his L4 to L5 disc.
The soft inner material of the disc had ruptured through the tough outer layer and was pressing directly on his sciatic nerve. The pain radiated down his entire right leg. He could not stand, could not sit comfortably, could barely sleep. Conservative treatment failed. Pain medication, physical therapy, epidural injections, nothing provided lasting relief.
After 6 months of suffering, William underwent spinal surgery to remove the herniated portion of the disc. The surgery was successful in relieving the nerve pressure, but William never fully recovered. He developed chronic lower back pain that persists to this day. He can no longer walk for more than 10 minutes without needing to rest. His quality of life has been permanently diminished, and the cause was a simple error in spinal posture during an exercise that should have made him stronger. The correction requires understanding what a neutral spine looks like and feels like. Stand sideways in front of a mirror. Look at your lower back. You should see a gentle inward curve called lumbar lordosis. This is normal and healthy. Your upper back should have a gentle outward curve called thoracic kyphosis. These natural curves distribute forces evenly along your spine. Now sit in a chair and check your posture again. The curves should remain. If your lower back rounds and loses its curve, you are in spinal flexion. This is dangerous. If your lower back arches excessively and the curve becomes too pronounced, you are in spinal extension, also dangerous. The goal is to maintain those natural curves throughout every exercise during sit-to-stands. This means hinging at your hips, not rounding your back. Imagine a string attached to your chest pulling you forward and up. Your torso leans forward slightly, but your spine stays straight. Your hips push backward as you lean forward like you are closing a car door with your backside. This hip hinge keeps your spine neutral. As you stand, push through your heels and extend your hips, bringing your torso upright. Your spine never rounds, never arches excessively. During seated knee extensions, sit tall with your lower back pressed gently against the chair back. Do not slouch, do not lean forward. Maintain that lumbar curve throughout the movement. During seated rows with a resistance band, sit upright with your chest lifted. Pull the band toward your ribs by squeezing your shoulder blades together, not by rounding your spine forward. These adjustments might feel awkward initially. You might feel the exercises in different muscles. That is correct. You are finally using your spine the way it was designed to be used. Practice these corrections daily in front of a mirror. Check your posture constantly. Film yourself performing exercises and watch the playback. Look for any rounding, any excessive arching, any twisting. Eliminate these faults one by one. Within a month, neutral spine will become your default position. Your back pain will decrease, your risk of serious injury will plummet, and you will finally be building strength instead of building injuries. So, there you have the 5 deadly mistakes that are sabotaging your chair exercises. Let me quickly review them. Mistake 5. Not warming up before exercises. Fix it with 10 minutes of gentle movement and dynamic stretching before every session. Mistake 4. Performing exercises without proper stability support. Fix it by using a chair with armrests or positioning yourself near a wall. Mistake 3. Allowing your knees to track inward. Fix it by pushing your knees outward, aligning them over your second toes. Mistake 2. Exercising through pain. Fix it by stopping immediately when pain appears and getting injuries evaluated by a doctor. Mistake 1. Not maintaining a neutral spine. Fix it by learning the hip hinge, keeping your natural spinal curves throughout all movements. Now, let me give you a complete, corrected protocol that incorporates all of these fixes. This is your daily routine moving forward. Every morning or evening, whichever works better for your schedule, set aside 30 minutes for your chair exercise routine. Start with your 10-minute warm-up. 5 minutes of gentle movement to increase circulation. Seated marching, arm circles, ankle circles, shoulder shrugs, spinal twists. Then 5 minutes of dynamic stretching, leg swings, arm swings, hip circles. After 10 minutes, you are ready for the resistance exercises. Perform each exercise slowly and controlled. Take 4 seconds to lift. Hold for 2 seconds at the top. Then take 4 seconds to lower. Never rush. Breathe out during the effort phase.
Breathe in during the release phase. Never hold your breath. Use a sturdy chair with armrests for support. Keep one hand on each armrest during exercises that challenge your balance. Maintain perfect form. Knees track over second toes, never collapsing inward. Spine stays neutral, maintaining its natural curves. No rounding, no excessive arching, no twisting under load. Start with 3 exercises. Seated knee extensions, 12 repetitions per leg, 3 sets. Calf raises, 15 repetitions, 3 sets. Sit to stand squats, 10 repetitions, 3 sets. Rest for 60 to 90 seconds between sets. If you experience any pain above a 2 out of 10, stop immediately. Assess the pain. If it does not resolve within minutes, skip that exercise and see a doctor. After completing your resistance exercises, finish with a 5-minute cool down. Gentle stretching for all the muscles you worked. Hold each stretch for 20 to 30 seconds. Do not bounce. Breathe deeply.
This entire routine takes 30 minutes. 3 times per week is sufficient for strength building. Monday, Wednesday, Friday works well, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Give your muscles at least 1 day between sessions to recover and rebuild. Within 2 weeks of following this corrected protocol, you will notice improvements. Your legs will feel stronger. Stairs will be easier. Standing from chairs will require less effort. Within 4 weeks, your balance will improve noticeably.
You will feel more stable, more confident in your movements. Within 8 weeks, you will see measurable strength gains. You might be able to perform more repetitions, or you might be ready to add light resistance with ankle weights or thicker resistance bands. By 12 weeks, these exercises will be a habit. You will not need to think about form anymore. It will be automatic. And most importantly, you will be building real functional strength without destroying your joints in the process.
Chair exercises are incredibly powerful tools for maintaining independence, preventing falls, and building strength after 60. They work, the research is overwhelming, but only if you do them correctly. I made this video not to discourage you from exercising, but to ensure that your efforts actually help you instead of harming you. Too many seniors are suffering from preventable injuries caused by simple form errors that nobody ever corrected. I do not want you to be one of them. So, here is my challenge to you tomorrow. Perform your chair exercises using every single correction I taught you today. Warm up properly. Use stability support. Monitor for pain. Maintain neutral spine. And then come back to this video and leave a comment telling me how it felt. Tell me what you noticed. Did the exercises feel different? Did you feel them in different muscles? Did you discover that you were making mistakes you did not know about? I read every comment, and I promise I will respond to yours. If this video helped you today, I want you to do 3 things. First, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this video to more seniors who desperately need this information. Second, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. We release new evidence-based senior health videos every single week. Next week, I am going to show you 8 foods that multiply your chair exercise results by 300%. You will not want to miss it. Third, share this video with someone you care about, your spouse, your children, your friends at the senior center.
If they are doing chair exercises, they need to see this. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Your health matters. Your safety matters. You matter. You have the power to build strength and maintain your independence for decades to come. Do not let simple mistakes rob you of that future. Take control. Exercise correctly. Stay strong.